Good Friday afternoon and welcome to your 4 to 5. I am Maddie Gardner, joined by Taheshah Moyes.
Yes, we are here to inform you, make you feel connected, and let you into our world. Part of how you can do that is stay connected with us on Facebook as we stream this show live.
Absolutely. Well, let's get right into it today. There is a major development in the race to get a COVID-19 vaccine approved.
Yeah, that's right. Drug maker PFIZER is requesting emergency use authorization from the FDA for its COVID-19 vaccine today. Now, the announcement starts the clock on a process that could bring limited first shots as early as next month and eventually an end to the pandemic. In addition to Friday's FDA submission, they have already started rolling applications in Europe and the UK and intend to submit similar information soon. About 25 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine may become available in December, 30 million in January, and 35 million more in February and March.
After yesterday's record-setting day of COVID-19 cases in North Carolina, the state saw a drop in cases today. Now, the number is still high, but we saw just under 3,690 new cases today. That pushes our daily percent positive up to about 8.3%. There are currently 1,571 people in the hospital with the virus, and just under 5,000 people have died from COVID-19 in our state since the pandemic began.
In just a few short weeks, North Carolina students in high school are expected to take their end of course exams, but there is now a push to make some changes to state testing requirements due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A petition with close to 1,500 signatures has been created to encourage North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, the state superintendent, and General Assembly to waive EOC exams for high school students. Now, even if the governor agrees, the state would still need approval by the U.S. Department of Education before any testing changes can be made.
Let's take a look at the headlines of the day with your 4 to 5 roundup. Social workers across the country are looking for kids who are missing from schools. Enrollment data from about 78 of the nation's largest districts shows at least 240,000 kids were unaccounted for when school started back this fall. Now, in some cases, parents didn't enroll their child over concerns about COVID or worries about online learning. Some are homeschooling, but they haven't notified their districts. And in other cases, families moved to find jobs. Another warning from health experts as the holidays approach. Now doctors say you should not eat your Thanksgiving meal with people who do not live in the same house as you. What they do believe is safe is spaced out gatherings with everyone in a mask in a good room with some ventilation. Once masks are removed and distance is diminished, they say the risk increases. And it is the hot item of the season. I'm talking about outdoor heaters and propane tanks. Many people are buying them in an effort to host Thanksgiving outside. And Charlotte customers are also stocking up on items like foldable chairs, tables, and fire pits. It's all an effort to space out people and stay outdoors as much as possible to cut down on the spread of the virus. And a silver lining of the pandemic, the air is cleaner. That's according to a new report. There's less haze and heat-trapping greenhouse gases. The U.S. is on track to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from burning fossil fuels by more than 9% compared to the same time last year. The last time yearly emissions were this low was nearly 4 decades ago. That was in 1983.
Great day to get outside and breathe some of that fresh air. It is gorgeous weather right now to finish out our work week. We have blue sky, which we've had, but the temperature a little bit warmer today. You can really feel the difference outside as we look over downtown Greensboro. Look at all that blue sky. Temperatures are very comfortable right now, generally in the 60s. Really want to show you really what the temperature is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click my button inside because for some reason I messed it all up. This is what I do sometimes. So now that I've fixed it, we can continue with the weather broadcast. There you go, 65. Kept you in suspense there a little bit, right? Local temperatures in your neighborhoods look like this. Mid 60s and upper 60s right now. Kind of watching closely to see if anybody hits 70 as of right now. Looks like a couple folks will top 69, but that's about it. Winds have switched around, and this is why we're warming up, because the winds are coming in out of the south compared to out of the north. That's all you need to do this time of year to get a warmer day of weather. And we've also seen the humidity not really get humid, but it's not as bone dry as it has been the last couple of days. You don't have to put on quite so much chapstick. Let's say that for sure. Looking across the east, there's not much going on. Weather-wise, we're just quiet and comfortable. And this is not just us. Pretty much everyone from Texas up to New England is comfortable and dry. So we're left with a really good forecast. Take a look at tomorrow, right around 40 for the morning, upper 60s. I think we'll have a very good chance of getting close to 70 for tomorrow afternoon's high. And as we go into tonight, again, not really all that shabby, just cooling off to right around 40 degrees. Here's your 7-day forecast. Take a look as we go into next week. It's cooling off quite a bit. There's a small chance of a shower on Monday, 52 for the high on Tuesday, and an early look at Thanksgiving. Looks like rain for Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, but we should be able to dry it out for the afternoon.
The COVID-19 pandemic can't stop Winston-Salem's Greek Festival from happening this year. Now, the annual festival kicked off today with a few COVID safety precautions in place. And this year, the festival is a drive-through, so people can still come on by and enjoy their favorite foods.
So we only planned this about a month ago, to be honest. As the summer went on and early fall, we just really missed that opportunity to be with the community at large. And we started to realize, hey, drive-through is a safe way that we can do something. We can't do all the things we normally enjoy bringing out to the community, but we can at least bring out our food. And that is the big draw.
You still have time to get out there and enjoy the festival. It'll be open until 8 tonight and starts back up again tomorrow morning at 11.
The holiday season is here, and you know what that means. Piedmont WINTERFEST. Our very own Luke Liddon is downtown at the new location to give us an up-close preview of what people can expect this year on the ice. Now, Luke, my script says that I'm supposed to say, wow, you're an amazing skater. But I don't have proof of that yet, and I'm all about the facts. So let's see some moves, and then I'll comment on your skating.
Could you imagine if I was just doing this the whole time?
That's what I do.
I promise I'm good. No, we're down here at the Piedmont WINTERFEST, like you said, and this is kind of like my happy place, just because I played hockey my entire life, so it's like second nature almost, like riding a bike when you jump on the ice, at least for myself. But we already have a couple different skaters here. It opened up at 4 o'clock, and keep in mind, it is in a different location than years past. We're right off Elm Street downtown between South End Brewing and Fat Tuesday, so if you're wanting to come down here, get in the holiday spirit a little bit, just be sure it's a couple blocks down as opposed to maybe where you're used to in years past. But the biggest concern, I'm sure, is COVID-19, right? First and foremost, you have to wear a mask to be able to come on the rink. But more than that, the staff here are taking extra precautions in terms of asking everyone health screening questions before you can get on the ice, as well as temperature checks to be sure you don't have any symptoms of COVID-19. So not only is it a perfect opportunity to come down here, enjoy the holiday spirit, but you will be safe because they are taking those extra safety precautions. It's only about $12 to get an hour 45 of ice time. But I got to tell you, I'm just getting warmed up here and I cannot wait to be out here maybe all night. Who knows, right?
Now, Luke, could you be any taller than the other people around you?
There is a little bit of a height difference. If I get a little low,
there you go.
Then maybe I can be at their level. No, but of course, kids of all ages are allowed to come down here. And I know, Taheshah, you've been on the ice before. I think we did WINTERFEST last year. But Maddie, I've never seen you skate before. I would love for you to come down here one time and show us what you got. Could you maybe do like a little axle for us or a little fancy something?
Well, actually, I cannot skate on ice, on blades. I never learned how to skate. So no.
So look at you trying to judge Luke.
Wait
a second.
Now, I never said I was judging Luke. I just said I couldn't comment on his skating ability as a journalist until I saw it. You're an amazing skater and a great ice hockey player. I'll stick to the ground.
Well, you know, it's okay. Any and all levels of skating are allowed here. Even, Maddie, if you have to hold on to the wall or use a little walker to make your way around the rink, it's okay. That's what's the best part about it, right? They even have fake snow falling down. So the Christmas tree, it's just about kind of experiencing the holiday spirit. We know Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Christmas won't be far away. So come down, enjoy it. It's a good time, good atmosphere. They even have live music too.
I love that. Luke, thank you for showing us what it looks like live. Taheshah will speak during the commercial break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, coming up next on your 4 to 5. In 2020, we can all use a reason to come together, right? Well, one TRIAD woman is doing her part to unite people with help from people all over the country. We're going to share her story next.
A Triad woman is doing her part. She is part of a cool project that is uniting people all across the country. I want you to take a look at this quilt. Each square represents one state, and it's comprised of mask scraps from people who've been making masks for others throughout this pandemic. I spoke to the Davidson County woman about her contribution to this quilt and her message for all. At the start of this pandemic, Regina Shaw got to work.
It was 13 hours a day, 8 hours a day. Go, 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 go. I couldn't get them out fast enough.
She was one of many across the country who stepped up to make masks for people in their communities.
Like, there was such a great need. Like, I had an order for 600 masks one day. And that's when I kind of joined that mask making community, and I was like, help. I said, help, I can't do this.
Through a Facebook group, Shaw was able to connect with other sewers to get orders complete. That's also how she met Rachel Sloan from Kentucky, who stitched together a cool idea.
And so I kind of just wanted it to be a representation of the work that everybody had put in when there was a need.
Sloan started collecting mask scraps from someone in every state to complete a quilt. In the middle, it says kindness, the thread that connects us. The plan was to send it to the White House.
I also wanted to focus on how unity can bring things together and just, it can be uplifting.
It took about 6 months to complete. Sloan says she also asked everyone who sent in fabric how many masks they've made overall.
There were 80 contributors, so I thought, oh, well, we might get like, 80,000 or something like that, but it represents over 1.5 million masks.
I get chills thinking about it.
Shaw says she feels blessed to be a part of something bigger than herself. She hopes that others will use it as an inspiration to spread positivity.
Let's think a little bit more with our hearts. Let's love a little more. Let's care a little more. Let's try not to focus on all the negativity.
All right, Maddie, I have to tell you something special about Regina Shaw's square. Now, she found the fabric at a random thrift store. It turned out to be the same fabric that her son-in-law and daughter in Norway have for their duvet cover. Now, a few years ago, they tried to go to DC on a family trip, wanted to take a tour of the White House. The son-in-law wasn't a citizen yet, so he couldn't get in. But now with this quilt, it's kind of like he is going to the White House. And at last check, the quilt is trying to be redelivered at this time.
Such a cool idea, Taheshah. At first, when you said, she's using scraps of fabric from all across the country, I thought that was extremely interesting. But then when I found out that they were masks from people who had stepped up and really started cranking out these masks at the start of the pandemic, that was just the cherry on top of it. What a cool idea. And I do think it shows unity, and we need that more than ever.
Exactly. They said, let's be a light in the midst of darkness. And 1.5 million masks represented by just 80 people, mind-blowing.
Absolutely. All right, the 4 to 5 is heading to break, but you can always join our conversations on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Taheshah and I are both there in the comment section. We'll see you. Developing right now, the city of Greensboro declares a state of emergency. Mayor Nancy Vaughn passed the declaration just moments ago. It reinforces the statewide mask mandate and the new limits on indoor mass gatherings. As of right now, if businesses are found violating these rules, they can be fined. If they have more customers on the property than allowed in the statewide rules, the businesses will be fined $100 for each extra person. The declaration says city employees such as fire officials would be the ones to enforce these fines. Mayor Vaughn said in a statement that the declaration does not add any new regulations. We'll have more on that coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5. Well, the coronavirus pandemic forced so many events in the TRIAD to postpone or cancel altogether, including the annual River Run International Film Festival. But since that cancellation, the festival has shown more than 70 movies between virtual showings and local drive-in theaters. This weekend, they will be presenting a documentary on Broadway at Marketplace Cinemas in Winston-Salem. We spoke to the festival's executive director, Rob Davis, about the film and overcoming the challenges of this pandemic.
We are so excited. This Sunday, we're going to be able to present another film that would have been in our 2020 River Run International Film Festival. And this week, the film we're showing is a documentary called On Broadway. And it's a film that really looks at the evolution of Broadway theater from the 1970s through today. When I look at this documentary on Broadway and I see how the Broadway community had, if you will, a philosophy of adaptability, adapting to meet new audience needs, etc. Well, you sort of can apply that to what's been going on with River Run over the last several months, really the better part of 2020, because after we had to cancel our festival, we had to come up with innovative ways to get some of our films to our audiences. It's a terrific film for anyone who has an interest in theater, for anyone who loves theater. You will not be disappointed.
I mean, I think the phrase "the show must go on" is the most appropriate in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he said on Broadway, the lights started going off. You know, I'm there, I'm listening, and also the song just was playing in my head throughout the whole time. But I do think Broadway is just a very interesting thing. And, you know, the actors and actresses, it's like a whole different world involved in that. So kind of breaking down that third wall, if you will, to let the audience in is pretty cool.
Yes, I think this would be an extremely interesting documentary to see, and you can catch it this weekend. Details will be on our website for you. Taheshah, I'm picturing, like, in your head, a kick line going on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, a la Chicago.
Such a good one. All right, Tim Buckley, let's hear that weather forecast.
Oh yeah, everyone's kicking and clapping and being happy about this weather, I guess. That's not a very good segue. I'm going to start over. Hey, the weather's nice. Blue sky across the area right now. It's going to be a really awesome weekend as far as tonight and tomorrow are concerned. Take a look here. We still have that blue sky going on for High Point right now, sitting at 65 degrees. The humidity is up a little bit, not as bone dry as it has been. Right now we're going to take a look. Look, this is the skating rink. Piedmont WINTERFEST is happening right down there. The temperature is 65, so I mean, be honest, there are a couple puddles here just because it's kind of warm to keep that ice going. But of course, we will be cooling down quickly tonight down to around 40. I do want to let you know we're a couple of hours away from this. 6:18, you have an opportunity to watch the space station go overhead. All you have to do is look in the west-southwest sky and then the northeast sky. It'll be moving overhead for about 3 minutes. I'll guide you through it. I'll be live on my Facebook page at that time. You'll also be able to see later on the moon, Saturn, and Jupiter. Just look southwest after sunset. Our weather looks great through tomorrow. We'll have another warm afternoon with lots of sun. Sunday, we'll start to increase the cloud cover a little bit. So tomorrow's the warm day of the weekend, right around 70. Sunday's not bad. It's just more gray than blue sky. So take your pick. That's your weather forecast. We are coming right back with the 4 to 5.
In response to surging cases of COVID-19 in California, the state's governor issued a temporary curfew yesterday. The curfew starts tomorrow night and will last from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. each day. Now, the curfew isn't statewide. It only applies to counties under the state's purple tier label, where virus transmission is considered widespread. It affects about 41 out of the 58 counties in California. So I wanted to get your thoughts on the idea of a curfew. So I asked you to chime into the conversation on my Facebook page. We have a few comments. Let's get to the first one. Jolie Meyer says, if we're still enforcing masks, social distancing, ancient sanitation, I don't see why closing early would adversely impact anything. I think she means and sanitation as well. Jason Meyer says, not going to happen this time. It's breaking your Constitution rights. And Eddie says, so the virus only comes out after midnight. Now, Eddie, that is the sarcastic answer, of course, but I can see where he's coming from because it is just an arbitrary time, if you will. But I think the idea behind this is a lot of gathering can happen in restaurants and bars and things like that. And some of the government officials are trying to eliminate the idea of that and try to keep people apart if possible.
Right. And here in North Carolina, we are still under that 11 o'clock curfew where restaurants have to stop serving alcohol. Of course, the coronavirus doesn't just appear at 11 o'clock at night, but the idea is that when people are drinking and the later they stay out, the more their inhibitions may drop. They may stop wearing their masks. They may be getting closer to each other. So I see where they're coming from. I hope that we can do what we know we're supposed to do, keep our numbers down, and maybe we won't have to see more restrictions in place.
Yeah, for sure, Maddie.
All right, the 4 to 5 is heading to break, but as always, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Join our conversation there.
Hey, this thing got all messed up. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. Seriously, I'm untangling the whole thing, so. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination when a dark, delicious cookie.
Good Friday afternoon and welcome back to your 4 to 5. Maddie Gardner here with Taheshah Moist. Taheshah, how you feeling this Friday?
I feel good. I miss Chilton, though. He's part of our crew.
I know. We'll see him soon.
We will. In the meantime, me and Maddie are here to inform you, make you feel connected, and let you into our world. And be sure to continue the conversation with us off the screen here. We stream the show live on Facebook, and we'd love for you to chime in.
In case you've missed it, the past 2 times I've said it in 30 seconds, it's Friday. So we're going to start off with some good news today. You know, the TRIAD really steps up for people in need all year round. But around the holidays, we tend to see even more generosity, and that's how this next story came to be. A group gives cars to families in need, but someone stole parts from several vehicles. Now, you might remember this original story. It aired right here on WFMY News 2. And after that, Wheels for Hope says donations started rolling in. WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller has what happened next.
I feel blessed to have a vehicle for the first time.
You can't tell, but Asata Jabatera is all smiles under her mask. Thanks to Wheels for Hope, the 36-year-old mother got the keys to her first vehicle since moving to North Carolina from Liberia last year.
I've been using my mom's car to go to work, so I will be so happy and blessed to have a car to get to work.
Wheels for Hope takes donated cars, fixes them up, and gives them to folks like Asata who have jobs but struggle with transportation. The process usually takes a couple weeks, but Asata had to wait 6 months.
Yeah, well, with COVID, it's been very difficult. Not as many people have been donating cars.
As if the impact of the pandemic isn't enough, last month, thieves stole 6 catalytic converters for cars ready to roll to families in need. Beamer Tire and Auto saw the original story and wanted to help by offering free labor to make the needed repairs.
They have been disproportionately affected by this. And so it's our responsibility in an industry that's, you know, if not, we're not necessarily thriving, but we're definitely getting through this much better than other businesses to step up and help our neighbors.
Others in the community have also given generously to Wheels for Hope. People have donated 10 vehicles and given monetary donations to pay for car parts.
When something happens, people in the TRIAD look up and just say, okay, where can I be of help? And so for people to help us, to help others, we're grateful for that.
An amazing story, Taheshah, and for Beamer to step up and donate those parts. I mean, that is the beauty of small businesses because they're so connected to our community and they know the needs of people here, and the generosity is just through the roof.
Yeah, I felt warm and fuzzy, and I'm not even joking about it. I literally did. There was a feeling that came over me when I saw her eyes and just how happy she was. And like the guy from Beamer mentioned, you know, nonprofits are disproportionately affected by this pandemic. We've mentioned a number of nonprofits over the last couple months that are struggling, and some have only been able to make it by because of others in the community.
I love that story. Hey, if you want to help Wheels for Hope, we have details on how you can get involved on our website right now. Well, let's turn now to some more headlines today with your 4 to 5 roundup. As COVID-19 cases rise across the country, New York City is looking at imposing some new restrictions. Mayor Bill de Blasio said the city will soon be in the orange zone status, and that would trigger shutdowns in the next week or 2. The city's 7-day average for COVID-19 positivity rate hit 3%, and that closed schools across the city. The mayor, though, says he hopes those schools can reopen soon. The Department of Justice has now filed a civil complaint against the owners of the animal park profiled in the Netflix show Tiger King. Jeff and Lauren Lowe are accused of operating an unlicensed exhibition park with endangered animals. In a lawsuit, the DOJ says Lowe's USDA license was suspended for inadequate and improper care and handling of animals that are protected by the Endangered Species Act. For years, the Lowe's operated the Greater Wynwood Exotic Animal Park in Oklahoma, formerly owned by Joseph Maldonado Passage, also known as Joe Exotic. Well, Facebook says it was swarmed with misinformation ahead of this year's election. The social network says it slapped warning labels on more than 180 million posts between March and November 3rd. The labels included links to information from credible sources. Facebook says it also removed 265,000 pieces of content for breaking the company's rules against voter interference. And today is President-elect Joe Biden's 78th birthday. He is expected to become the oldest president in our nation's history, displacing Ronald Reagan, who left the White House in 1989 when he was 77 years and 349 days old.
President Donald Trump invited top Republicans from Michigan state legislature to the White House on Friday, but administration officials pushed back the idea that it is part of an effort to overturn results in that state. Now, this meeting comes just a day after President Trump's personal attorney, that's Rudy Giuliani, held a news conference filled with baseless claims, but no evidence of widespread voter fraud. As President-elect Joe Biden prepares to inherit the pandemic, he calls President Trump's refusal to allow the transition process to start irresponsible.
It's going to put us behind the 8 ball by a matter of a month or more, and that's lives.
President-elect Biden is also meeting with top congressional Democrats.
Well, if you were supposed to get a stimulus check and you still haven't, you're running out of time to claim your money. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. is the deadline to claim your stimulus check. The IRS says anyone who was not required to file a tax return in 2018 or 2019 can register for those economic impact payments by using the non-filers tool before the deadline. If you got your check but you forgot to register for the $500 child payment, tomorrow's deadline also allows you to fix that.
All right, talking about that weather outside as we go into the weekend, couldn't really be better. I mean, it's gorgeous to be outdoors right now. Sunshine will continue heading into Saturday, and we should stay quite a bit warmer than we have been most of this week. Starting to get that look in the sky, though, that early glow right there before sunset. The sunset time tonight is 5:08. 8 minutes after 8. Some of our earliest sunsets of the year are happening in just the next couple of weeks, but really by the end of December, we'll actually start to see them get longer again. This is a new sight for us, the first day of WINTERFEST. We always like to kind of watch and enjoy the skaters on the ice there. Well, they're holding steady. Good job out there. The balance is already in good shape. Warmth is here for today and for tomorrow, but I will caution you, going into Sunday, we may not have quite as much sunshine. This little front just to the north of us, it could send some cloud cover our way. So I've lowered my high temperature for Sunday afternoon, more like low 60s rather than upper 60s, and not quite as blue of a sky. Sneak peek ahead toward the Thanksgiving holiday. It does look likely that there will be rain, but it's mostly for Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. That's the timing right now. We will let you know if that changes. 7-day forecast. Tomorrow's the warmest of the bunch. We have a chance to get close to 70 degrees. Cooler weather for next Tuesday with highs barely touching 50. And then we're back into the 60s. It may be possible for you to eat outside for Thanksgiving and be pretty comfortable.
All right, we got it. You see the turkey and the potatoes and the green beans and the cranberry sauce and the biscuits.
That looks so good, Tanya. However, I do not see my favorite dish, sweet potato casserole with streusel topping, on this spread that you have here.
Okay. Here's the question, though, even though it's not on that spread. Have you ever cooked a turkey?
Tanya,
what?
Do you think I've cooked a turkey?
You never know.
I have not cooked a turkey. I would be willing to try.
Okay.
But it's scary.
I know, it's really interesting that people are scared of cooking a turkey, but really, you stick the bird in the oven and you leave it there to do its thing.
Okay, it's not that simple.
It is that simple. The big deal is when is it done?
Right. Oh, that's a nice little sound effect, because if it looks like this, if I saw this turkey, I would think that's a cooked bird.
You would think so. But remember that old saying, you can't judge a book by its cover? You can't judge a bird by its color. That's right. The same goes with the turkey.
That food thermometer needs to be put into the thickest part of the breast and then the innermost part of the thigh and wing. And we want to get that turkey to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. If you cook it to that temperature, the turkey is juicy. It's done. You've killed the bacteria.
Get that meat thermometer, people. Do not trust the looks. Cooking the turkey is one thing, but before you can cook it, it has to be thawed. And Butterball has a calculator for the timing on that. We're talking with the Butterball folks tonight at 5 o'clock. Now, tonight at 5:30, we're answering your questions about health care. We have 2 experts taking your questions about enrollment for Medicare, the Affordable Care Act. The deadlines are coming up soon. We want you to text your questions to 336-379-5775.
A big accomplishment for a Greensboro softball player who signed to play with Duke just about a week ago. Now, she is part of a top-ranked 2021 signing class, and she is also making history. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson shows us how.
At first, it didn't feel real.
Until signing on a dotted line solidified it. Western Guilford's Mariah Hedden committing to play softball for Duke.
It feels great. I want to set records.
She's already setting one.
I'm going to be the first person from North Carolina to actually wear a Duke jersey, and I just feel like not I have to make everybody proud, but I really want to.
The pitcher's been playing softball since she was 8 years old and following Coach Marissa Young for a while now. They met when Mariah went to camp at UNC. But when Coach got the job at Duke 5 years ago, Mariah followed.
I was like, well, I want to go try it out and see what Duke is like. And I instantly fell in love with Duke. My family was diehard Carolina fans, so it was kind of hard.
Even though she's wearing a different shade of blue, Mom says the family will too.
We're all in. You know, if that's what they want to do, then we're behind them all the way. Family means everything, you know. We'll support each other any way that we can to be successful. Just really proud of her.
I want to make a name not only for myself, but for Greensboro, for North Carolina.
A big congrats to Mariah and her family. Now, aside from softball, she says she wants to study dermatology. We wish her all the best in both of those areas.
Wow. Well, a big congratulations to her. The first, wait a second, how do you have a school in North Carolina and this upcoming year is the first time someone from the state is on the team? Here we are.
The team hasn't been around that long. Look at me defending Duke. But I think it's really cool, and I love that she is right here from the TRIAD and is representing now the state at Duke for the ACC and on a national level.
Yes, and did you see how she's breaking ranks with her family, though?
It happens. It happens. It's not something we like to talk about. But we do have family members who went to Duke and in some cases NC State, and you know, we have to love them anyway.
Yeah, you got to spread the love. You got to spread the love. Again, a big congratulations to her. I'm sure a lot of folks in the TRIAD will be watching.
And I noticed Amanda Ferguson had on a Duke blue dress. I wonder if that was intentional for her story today. 4 to 5, we'll be right back. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Could a breathalyzer test soon show if someone has COVID-19? Researchers at Texas A&M University think they may have invented a coronavirus breathalyzer that could reveal positive and negative results in under a minute. But it's not ready to take over for testing just yet. Let's connect the dots.
The device looks like a kiosk. You use a disposable straw to blow in a copper tube, and then the results are sent to your phone in less than a minute. It uses artificial intelligence to examine the breath for compounds produced by the body when it is fighting coronavirus. Between tests, the copper tube is superheated, so the next person's results are not contaminated. 5 kiosks are being installed on the Texas A&M campus, where they can be used by students and faculty. The breathalyzer tests will be compared to the results of PCR tests, the most accurate coronavirus testing we have right now. That will help determine the accuracy and fine-tuning the test. It's also being used at some Air Force bases. The idea behind the device, called World's Protect Kiosk, is it can be thrown into the back of an SUV and set up outside any setting being used for a large group. Think concerts, sporting events, and churches. The Food and Drug Administration is still evaluating the breathalyzer for widespread public use. But if approved, it could be a welcome change to those intrusive nasal swabs.
Yes, it absolutely could. That is fascinating, Taheshah, and it just goes to show that every day we are learning more about this virus, learning new ways to treat it, and in this case, learning new ways to detect it.
Yeah, and I really hope that this ends up working out. I know they still have some testing to do, comparing it to those PCR tests. The thing I'm having trouble wrapping my head around, though, is just using the same straw. I know it's heated, but in my head, I'm like, it's the same.
Well, you have your own straw. The thing that's heated is internal.
Ah, okay. So people aren't using the same straw
time. Yes, that's good news. You know what I was thinking about the entire time that story was running, though, is if I would have called you up last year at this time and said, Taheshah, they've come up with this breathalyzer test that sits outside of large venues and you blow into it and it tells you if you have a virus.
No, there's no way. There's no way. But it's just a hallmark of how 2020 is like none other.
Oh. Goodness gracious. We will keep you updated on that. The 4 to 5 will be right back.
Now, who would it like to get paid to watch movies all day? Well, look no further, because one website is offering to pay somebody to binge watch a lot of holiday movies. So reviews.org, write that down, is willing to pay someone $2,500 and get gift cards to cover 1 year subscriptions for seven different streaming services, including Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All you have to do is have a streaming device and watch 25 holiday movies of your choosing in 25 days. After each film, you fill out a short survey. Anybody interested can apply between now and 11:59 p.m. on December 4th. And then the winner will be announced on December 7th on the reviews.org YouTube channel. Now, I think I just found my reason to watch A Christmas Story because I will be getting paid to do it.
You should not have to have the incentive of money to watch this movie. I don't know what's your holdup. Let's dig a little deeper into this.
Here's the thing, in my defense, right? I grew up in an immigrant household, a Haitian household. My parents didn't really watch holiday movies. That wasn't something that we did as a family, even with my cousins, right? So if this is an older movie that people watch together as a family, then that makes sense. But my family didn't do that. So that's my excuse.
You have a very valid excuse. We will watch it together. We'll set up some kind of like Zoom date where we can share a screen and we'll watch it. It is a great movie.
Netflix party.
A Netflix virtual viewing party. I'm here for it, and I think you'll love it. Now, about this job, someone sign me up immediately. I could do this in a week, Taheshah.
No, I could too. I'm serious. Reviews.org. I'm going to sign up and plead my case as to why I would be a good candidate.
I think we could pitch it as a duo here and really get that job lined up like that.
All right, let's do it. I'm
Look
game.
no farther. Have a good weekend. We're back with my 2 cents after this.
But first, me to throw some cold water. I don't think there are 25 good Christmas movies. There are a lot of Christmas movies. I don't think there are 25 good ones. You're gonna have to watch a lot of stinkers. But you get paid $2,500. I'd do that too. That sounds great. That's a lot of money, actually. Blue sky here in Greensboro, 65, lots of sun. All is well in the weather department. You have a really nice night to go outside if you'd like to. Comfortable right now, but tomorrow is actually going to be a little bit warmer. Check out the morning. Low 40s, upper 30s, still a little chill to the air, but not as cold as we've been. And the afternoon, we have a good chance to actually hit 70 degrees. It's a beautiful Saturday, and we'll have ourselves a really nice weekend as well. Do watch Sunday. I think there is some chance that we have clouds building back in. Increased cloud cover for Sunday afternoon. Just a low chance of a sprinkle or a shower at 20%. High is 62 to finish out your Sunday. Going into next week, as of now, Thanksgiving could start a little wet in the morning, but it looks to be decent and dry for the afternoon with a high of 64. That's your 4 to 5. We're coming right back.
Hello, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Or by the mayor. More rules imposed by the city of Greensboro or by the mayor. Hey, it's Alma doing a mic check. I'm putting my IFB back in my ear. I know I'm off the top of the 6.
Hey guys, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. We are live at the Piedmont WINTERFEST. I have yet to fall down, which is great news.
You can see there's quite a line of cars just on the other side of Wendover Avenue here. Cars are
Hello, hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hi, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado.
Taheshah, I have the solution for you. The first movie you watch, it's got to be like a Cheetah Girls Christmas. There has to be in existence, right?
Yeah, there is. Oh my God. There is a Cheetah Girls Christmas, by the way. It was good.
Oh no, that's so awful.
It's time for my 2 cents, and this one is going out to all of the parents for everything you do for your kids. I do want to get a little bit more specific because yes, we love you for raising your kids, for teaching them right from wrong, for helping them become functioning members of society and all of that. But what you really deserve a shout out for is Christmas shopping. Black Friday is a week away, and I bet your kid already has his or her Christmas list ready to go. Perhaps this year they're honed in on one of these very anticipated toys, the animatronic Baby Yoda, or something called the Gotta Go Flamingo, which is a stuffed bird that uses the bathroom. We see these Christmas toy crazes each year. Back in 1952, it was Mr. Potato Head. My own mother stood in line for Beanie Babies in the late 90s. Thanks, Mom. And who could forget the brawls that broke out over Tickle Me Elmo? Each year, we see parents doing whatever they can to get their hands on these gifts, no matter the cost or the physical toll. Now, because of online shopping and the pandemic, going the extra mile to fulfill your kids' Christmas list this year looks more like setting alarms to wake up in the middle of the night when those things go on sale, or even paying for overnight shipping. Nevertheless, you do not get enough credit for the sacrifices you make to make sure Christmas morning is special for your kids. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We begin with breaking news. Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughn issued an emergency declaration that includes fines and closures for businesses that do not follow mask mandates and occupancy limits.
This goes into effect right now, starting at 5 p.m. WFMY News 2's on the